used to before, and it's flaky as heck. Anyway, and I can't hardly see this. Ugh, that might be better. I don't know. Anyway, there's a brand new YouTuber, and he has had his YouTube channel for a few years, but he never did anything on it, I guess. And he has got several short vlogs in like the last 30 days. And it's called Books No Home is his channel. And he's an immigrant that came here from his country and is homeless. He's here with his wife and his kitty cat. And his car broke, and then he got a storage unit, and he's been getting books, free by going on Facebook Marketplace and offering to pick up stuff. And he started selling on eBay, and he handwrites all his labels, pays for the shipping in cash, which is bad because eBay takes 3 to 4 days for you to get your money sent to your account, for one. But if you have a way to print, then uh, you can nowadays, which you couldn't do it years ago, you can charge it to your eBay account on towards the shipping that you charge the customer. So you hope your shipping charge is going to cover. Plus, you get a discount on shipping. Um, but uh, if you have to ship it out at the post office in person, it costs gigantic money. And they have a QR code you can also get if you want to wait in line at the post office with all your packages, and then they read that off your phone, and that comes from eBay, and it'll pay off your account too. I've never used that. All this nouveau stuff is kind of tricky. But what I do is, and I'm homeless in my car. Um, I have a onboard battery that I bought at Harbor Freight. It's called a Jackery. And a week later, it went on sale for almost half, which made me mad as hell. And I bring the battery in, and I plug up my computer and my printer. I got a big giant printer and everything. And I go on eBay and print my labels recently from my account. I used to do pirate ship all the time, but if you don't have the liquid cash, you have no way to ship out. So I have been out of work since the last week of November. Yes, that's right. And it being in a tourist area in Florida, it's really hard to find work. In the off season, I had applied for probably 40 jobs, um, and I end up just recently, a few days ago, going back to one of the other places that I'd been working for a couple years on the side, one of those side jobs. My sign in and everything voided out. Then somebody had told me a while back, after like 30 days, the thing voids out. And I'm like, no, because, I worked in one of the stores after not working for 30 days and my thing still worked. But it doesn't now. So I had to reapply, applied for 5 jobs, even major job, everything. And it took them 4 weeks to get my stuff right. Uh, and that's because of a lot of game playing and everything, and people not doing their jobs. But anyway, I'm back to work. It's just part time, but it's better than $0.00. But anyway, here's this guy on YouTube. He's a funny character, and he came over here from overseas with his wife, and they either brought the cat or they got the cat when they got here. Animals are a problem when you're homeless, a huge problem. And I disagree with that because it is no life for an animal. Absolutely not. It's just like having a baby with you. You know, 15 minutes in a hot car in Florida, that baby's dead. You know, um, you're better off to let the animal cut it loose and let it have a home. Uh, there's a storage complex that I rented from where every other unit was a homeless person. And they knew it. They're making money off of it. And there was one lady there. They had a dog and like 2 cats. And when she made the effort to work and not be partying, she would leave those animals in storage. And that's a big no-no. That's 100% big no-no. It's not good for the animal. It's illegal. And it created a problem because people that cared about animals would hear, the dog barking and all that stuff and complain to management and stuff. And, of course, it wouldn't do anything because they're making good money on it. And they're still doing it today. But it's illegal to live in a storage unit. And it's not safe. My daughter and I rented some units out in the Enterprise, Alabama area. Went out there one night, and I said, man, there was this bad, and we were moving stuff around, and there was this really bad smell, and I said, man, I would swear somebody is cooking meth. Hey. And, you don't want that on your belongings in the storage. You don't want to be breathing that. I know a girl that in Panama City, in old Panama City, out by Callaway, that was a showgirl in a club, and she used to jerk and shake all the time when she talked to you. And I thought, God, that's great. She's got a job, even though, she's, epileptic or whatever, And the door guy told me, he said, that's not why she does that. And she's beautiful, beautiful, tall black girl. I mean, this sucker at least 6 foot tall. And just sweet as pie. But she shake and move all the time while you're trying to talk to her. Her head is swinging and everything. It's really horrible. And the door guy told me one day, he said, she's not like handicapped from an illness. Her boyfriend was cooking meth in the trailer they were living in while she was asleep. And it damaged her nervous system for life. Yeah. I mean, this girl's really bad. And she's young. She's probably 20, 21. And she's all screwed up. I mean, it's really hard to talk to her because she's jerking and moving all the time. Her head is swinging. But she can't control that. She's permanent damage from that. So, it's I have never had to live in a storage unit. Never attempted it. I know lots of people that do and have. I worked with a lady that lived in a storage unit for a year. Now let me tell you, this one complex that I moved out of, when I went to move the stuff out, and every other unit is homeless, which still is today, there was so much rat poo-poo on all the boxes. I could not believe it. It's like it rained in there. You ever had a building where the roof was going bad and all that stuff would come through and land on stuff? Well, my house was hit by a tornado, or stuff used to come in, and you're like, man, what is this? You got to cover the roof. But anyway, I was so mad because the rats and stuff will do serious damage. They will eat clothes and shoes, and then you don't want to carry them in your car moving the stuff, because then they're going to be in your car and they're going to eat the wiring. And then if you're sleeping in your car, then maybe they'll bite you and kill you from their germs. I don't know. But no, I have never lived in a storage unit. Don't want to at all. Hopefully we'll never have to. Other than the fact, it's very, very illegal. Real storage complexes that operate legit do not permit people staying in the storages day or night. One, the reason is it's not an apartment. It doesn't have running water. It doesn't have endless electricity. Some of the older units, they have a light up top and people will plug 15 million things in there, from microwaves to refrigerators to heaters to air conditioners. And that runs up the complex's electric bill. That's not what it's there for. There's no rear exit in the event of fire. There's no way to lock the unit when you're sleeping in it. Anybody can walk up and open that door. Do I look like being a girl that I want to sleep in a storage unit with the lock off? You know, around a bunch of other meth heads and people that are wanted on the street. They're looking for open units to steal stuff out of. Hell no. Plus, I can't sleep in the dark. No. All my life, no. So, this guy on the channel, I don't know exactly what is going on, but and then he started renting a car that's $60 a day on some app, I think. Because you can't rent a car unless you have a job and paycheck verification and a card to for them to take deposit from and reserve it, and then you got mileage and you got fuel and all that other crap, and you can't bring a cat in the car, and you can't stay in the car. Staying in your car does damage to it. It really does. I don't care how clean and nice and neat you are. You would destroy your car having to live in it. This guy, he started renting a car at $60 a day. I don't know how he can afford that. I go without eating for like 4 days at a time. Do I look like I can afford $60 a day to go rent a car? The hotel rooms here during the winter got down as low as 50 a night. Didn't manage to get a room for 20-degree night because I knew I'd be dead the next day. And that was on borrowed money. And I mean, there's a lot of fear with, being homeless in a vehicle for the cold and the heat. Yep, I got eBay. I got a bunch of other sites that I don't even use anymore. eBay's tough today. And this guy's doing a great job on his YouTube channel, and he's learning now how to try to promote his eBay store with that YouTube channel. Very striking, his vlogs. They're very down to earth, very honest. And he's the kind of guy that's not going to be standing out on the street with a cardboard sign asking for money. Those are fake beggars, and all you tourists pay for that. And we wish you'd stop paying them, because they usually make about $500 a day, and a lot of them are not homeless. And even if they are only spending that money on drugs, liquor, and lottery tickets. That's what you are paying for when you go, oh my God, he's homeless. Did you ever look at their bicycle? The churches here will give you a free bicycle every 6 months because homeless people lose them. They won't lock them up. And they're not giving them, a $300 to $600 to $1,000 bicycle. So if they have a bicycle with them, look at that. Look at their backpack. If they don't have a Walmart backpack, then they got some big old $100 backpack. They're fake. Did you look at their tennis shoes? Because trust me, if you want to go buy $100 tennis shoes, those Jordans and all that, in the secondhand store even, they're pricey. Secondhand stores are very high. Very, very high these days. Now, those are like your first clues, or to see how dirty they really are, if they look like they had a shower. And then you get these ones that say they're homeless vets, and they're not even homeless vets. And then if you offer them a job, they don't want to work because they're making $500 a day with a cardboard sign standing in the middle of the street. They have 15 bags of food at the street lamp that they're not going to eat because they're not hungry because they're partying on that dope. But you tourists will pay for that. Please stop. The real homeless don't ask. The real homeless don't have the cardboard sign or stand in the middle of the street. Do you know what it'd be like if I was standing in the middle of the street with a cardboard sign? Everybody knows me all the way across the United States. Yes, they do. Because of my business name and the business I've held for years and years and years. They would never believe. Never. They would think I was lit on drugs or drinking. I don't do any of that. I quit that party life when I had kids. And that was years ago. But I just saw a video short for YouTube for this Books No Home guy who says, I am going to California. Now, he is in the Tampa area. He has a storage unit for a little over $200 a month. He's been getting books free and listing them on eBay so that him and his wife can eat and they can feed the cat. And right now, he ran out of money for the $60 a day van that they were living in. Man, wouldn't you die if you were renting somebody a car and found out they were living in it with a cat? Ugh. Anyway, that's gigantic money. The hotels here have been $50 plus tax. You know, and if you pay by the week, you get a discount. But, you know, we're getting ready to go into spring break. You know, the official opening of spring break here in Upper Florida is April. So there's still time. I was hoping to be more financially efficient so that I could stay in a hotel for the winter time on the cheap rates. But, you know, I was out of a job last week in November and had been there like a year. Yep. But and in tourist season, I was making like $21 an hour. Yeah. And getting overtime. But, you know, such is life. But the new news is that he's going to go to California. And I saw a comment on one of the YouTube blogs he has that says, man, if you come to California, you can get $25 an hour digging holes. Now, first of all, you know, I don't know what his situation is legally. I don't know if he's here on visa. I don't know if he's, you know, a resident or how that goes. I think he's been here like 90 days or something like that. And there's a lot of things I think about. How is he going to pay taxes? You know, to the United States government. He says he doesn't have a social security number. And that's probably because he's a foreigner. I don't know how exactly that goes. I've known people that went back and forth to their country to evade taxes and owned a cocktail lounge in Huntsville, Alabama. But I don't know how long that goes for when you don't pay United States taxes. And having to leave and go home all the time, that costs huge money nowadays to fly. And then who's going to babysit the business while you're gone? I don't know. But anyway, I don't know exactly his situation. He does talk about you people in the United States have so much that is offered to you. Well, let me tell you something. The only way out of homeless is going to be going to work. Some way, somehow. Unless you got an eBay store and you really know what you're doing and you've got sales every single day and all this kind of thing, then great. But I'm going to tell you, it takes time. eBay is not like it was back in '01, when you could list a hairpin, a used hairpin, for $100 and some joker would buy it. It is so competitive. There's a ton of sellers. The site is malfunctioning constantly, especially at night. They're doing updates for the last 2 months, all night long, and you get absolutely zero traction. Um, you know, I have almost 1,000 items listed again when I took them all down to 250 because I didn't want to pay for each ad. 30 cents an ad because had to move the storages. And I just didn't have the cash to do it, the revenue. Um, I was doing fine before that. I was on Etsy and eBay, and get ready to go back on Amazon. But man, I'm going to tell you, you know, it's tough. As it sits now, if I sell something on eBay, it takes 4 days for me to actually get the money. But with the new thing of where you can actually ship off your account, which you couldn't do years ago, you can do the shipping on the eBay site. Boom, make a label and take it to the post office, and it doesn't cost you a penny, and you can get the item shipped ASAP, and the customer's happy, and you're happy, and it's still going to take 4 days for that money to come. So it's just like YouTube. It takes a month for your money to come. They will not pay you unless you have at least $100 in your account from doing your YouTube and your YouTube live, and they're going to take 1/4 of that before they pay you. So if somebody tips you $1 on live YouTube, you're going to get paid 75 cents, but it's better than nothing. I know YouTubers make gigantic money doing YouTube live. Plus, you get paid 4 times the watch time if you're on the live instead of just a video that you post on there. I would like to see this guy Books with No Home YouTube channel start going on the live, because he's got 1K followers now. He could be monetized if he has the watch time. And if he doesn't have the watch time at this point, I think it's like 400,000 minutes watch time. He will shortly, because his channel has just skyrocketed in like a 30-day period. The only other person I've seen that made a YouTube channel that went that fast is Tech and Sports. He's one of the biggest sellers on eBay, and he's out of mid Florida. But yeah, so his new claim to fame is he's going to California. I saw a comment, somebody, like I said before, that somebody said, God, if you come to California, you can get paid $25 an hour digging holes. Can you? Can this guy even apply for that job? Is he a U.S. citizen? Will they hire him? Man, I don't know. Is it cash? Is it guarantee they're going to hire him? They're going to like him right on the spot before they even see his face, and he's there in person? Can he do the work? The guy looks older to me. I don't know. Maybe, it's just street life, because the street life will age you very rapidly. You will look an easy 20, 30 years older than you are in a very short period of time. I have lost half the bulk of my hair just from worry. Okay? It really does a lot to you. I have a ton of stuff to sell. I list every day. And I ship, after 1 hour after they order. Because I know when I order stuff online, I want it yesterday express. But still, I'm not going to see that money for 3 or 4 days in my account. But, I go in, I use my phone. I have a straight talk prepaid phone, and I buy the $60 card plus tax, just so I can have enough gigabytes to boot the computer. So I have internet. I boot the internet phone onto my computer, so I can go on eBay and print out labels. Okay, that's right. and I have my onboard my onboard battery that I power up my big printer and my laptop and a little light so that I can print labels. If I have the liquid cash in one of my debit cards, then I can buy on pirate ship, which I like so much better. But when I don't, I now use eBay for the past couple weeks. I've been using the eBay because now you can bill it off your eBay for whatever you charge for shipping. I don't do free shipping on eBay. And if free shipping is a scam anyway, they're going to add it into the regular price. But if you do free shipping, you can't ship your item and bill it to your eBay account if you've got free shipping. So your shipping better be right. You better pray to God you did it right. And shipping is high now. It just went up again. It is so high. Mother God, it's like $9 just to ship a shirt. So these sellers that put that stuff up there to $6 or something, it's bull crap. They're losing on the deal. And eBay taxes you on that, on the total. On the item, the tax they charge, and the shipping, that total price, eBay takes 15.5% right off the top. Okay? And the tax doesn't go to me. eBay's collecting that tax. And I still have to pay tax on my revenue. I don't know how that's legal, but anyway. So, this guy, I guess he fell for somebody's comment. Oh, you can get paid $25 for digging holes. You can get paid about $20 an hour minimum wage in California right now. But let me tell you what it takes to rent. My brother called me about a year ago, and he was like, "You need to come back home." And I'm like, "Why?" California is really expensive. Um, I had researched an apartment down by my dad's office, Neptune Marina, I believe it was called, and went over there and they had a big desk when you walked in. God, it was really elite. They remodeled this whole thing. It's real nouveau since I was a kid. And they had a security guard there even. It was sitting at the counter. And I wanted to know how much it was to rent there. And she said, well, it's, $5K a month. I said, does it come with utilities? And she said, no. And I said, it's $5K to get in? She goes, no, it's like $15K to get in. Because you got to pay, your first, your last, and your deposits and all that. That's the way California is. Who on earth has almost $20,000 to move into an apartment in Southern California? Really? Now, I used to hang out on Venice Beach all the time. I pumped iron for years, competed, and my husband was an Olympic powerlifter, a very famous Olympic powerlifter, Bill West. And Bill Peanuts West. And let me tell you what. I was a little fat girl and I was getting ready to wire my teeth shut because, I did not want to be heavy anymore. And he turned me on to pumping iron, and I could eat anything I wanted. And I'm talking like steak, potatoes, and vegetables. That's weightlifter meal. And I got to the point where a lot of times I was working out like 8 hours a day, on the beach, Venice Beach, in the sunshine. Go take a swim in the waves after, cruise the boardwalk, man. All that really cool stuff, man. You just looked at the boardwalk. Every time that you were off work, you wanted to go roller skate the boardwalk or walk the boardwalk because all your friends were there. You knew all the sellers, and it was just neat. But the problem is trying to live there. Back then, you could stay at old Hooker Hotel down on Lincoln Boulevard over by Washington Boulevard. Oh my God, that hotel still exists there. It's been redone a little bit. That sucker, $20 a night and $125 for a week. Bill and I stayed there one time. And I'm like, oh, I don't know. This is like Hooker Hotel over here and the drug dealers and everything else. And he's like, I'll protect you. Well, it's great when you got, a bear that pumps iron, Olympic class, weightlifter, and he's going to protect you. But let me tell you, you open the door in the morning, and these people are like standing out there, the drug dealers, the hookers, and it was like I told Bill, I said, this place is so scary. It was a really old hotel, and we stayed there like a week, and we had to walk to everything. Didn't have a car, and walking's not a big problem back home in Marina Del Rey, Culver City, Mar Vista area, Santa Monica, because there's so much there. It's sort of like mid Florida. There's so many businesses. You can walk to anything. But I'm gonna tell you, today that same hotel is $300. My daughter and I stayed in that hotel just a few years back. And the morning that we checked out, we had just got into California. The morning that we had checked out, and I drove out there, didn't fly. The morning that we checked out again, my daughter says, "What's that, Mom?" And she pointed to something over the door, and I said, "What are you talking about?" She said, "What is that up there?" And I'm like, "Huh?" And I looked up there, and I went, "What the hell?" I got a chair. And I looked, I said, "Mother of God." There was a crack pipe with stuff still in it over the door jamb, okay, on top of the door, over the door jamb, sitting there on the framing with drugs in it. And my daughter and I, my daughter and I are in that room. Yeah. If the police come, we'd have been in jail. And I told her, I said, "Mother of God, a friggin' crack pipe." And I didn't want to touch it. I didn't want my fingerprints on that sucker. I was like, that kind of money for a cheapo room, in the Marina Del Rey area, and it came with a free crack pipe. Okay. Oh hell no. Okay. So the average hotel was like $200 to $300 a night. I'm not talking of the Hilton or any of that kind of crap. I'm talking about junk. All right. About a year ago, my brother called me and said, "Look, they've got this new welfare place they just built, new apartment building, real nice. You could live there, you know." And I said, "How am I going to live there?" And he said, "Well, because, you're low income, welfare." I said, "Well, I'm not low income because I'm working." And he's like, "It's only $3,000 a month that you have to pay being on welfare." I said, "$3,000 a month?" Here's a joker driving on the wrong side of the street, really. Um, and I'm like, for $3,000 a month, I can be living, in Miami and have the Miami Vice car in the driveway and be wearing, white silk outfits. No. Florida's about half the price of California. For what? Okay. California's insane money. Now, I sat down, and while we were there, I figured out what it takes. And let's go back to the welfare apartment that your percentage to pay is $3,000 a month. I better close that out first. First of all, you have to be a resident in California. That's like 30, 60, 90 days. That's not walking into the door. Okay, period. No. Florida recently made a law where anybody from gets zero, and a lot of businesses can't even hire them. I know because I had a good friend of mine that was a Mexican that I worked with, and they shipped her out. She went to a lawyer and everything, and they gave her orders that she was to go back. Yeah, really interesting. But it's a law that they made in Florida that they're not supporting foreigners. So this guy that's an immigrant, he's doing a good job by doing his eBay, because some things may be very problematic. And if he has visa and all the stuff, and he hasn't got, United States driver's license, he hasn't gone and applied for a Social Security card, whatever it takes, I don't know. Then there's a lot of stuff you can't fill out and you can't apply for, and you have to be a so-called resident. Um, so I don't know what it does. I think he's doing a great job doing what he's doing, but his new thing is he thinks he's going to California. Um, so yeah, so the apartment thing, that's a big no. I don't like welfare and stuff like that. I've done that one time in my life before for like 3 months, and I was like, I quit. I can make more money working a minimum wage job than sitting in this welfare office for 8 hours a day for the next 4 days till they call my number. I mean, literally, they will tell you, oh, you have to appear immediately. We're going to audit you, and you sit there for days and all that, and you have to take off of work and everything because they threaten to discontinue you and all this crap. And then they ask you stupid questions like, okay, so how do you buy toilet paper and how do you buy soap? And it's like, well, I don't know. You give me $200 a month, and then $60 in food stamps, and I have a baby. You know, it makes it really rough. Um, and you hand us papers about eating a balanced meal of a vegetable, a bread, and a meat, and a milk, and all this stuff. And guess what? 4 packs of macaroni and cheese was $1 back then. And even with that, if you figure out a daily balanced meal for every day of the month for you and your little kid, you know, it's not enough. You have to take out of the check they give you. So the check they give you, you still got to get gas for your car. You got to pay your utilities, and um, you know, uh, hopefully you have a job, but you have to have gas to get back and forth to do that. So it's just endless vicious circle. Leave it for those that are handicapped, elderly, and all that, and leave that money for those people. I have 2 legs, 2 arms. My health is bad, but I can still work. You know, um, but anyway, so this guy thinks he's going to California. Now, when I was out pumping iron on Venice Beach all the time, and my big hangout there, my husband had built the Venice weight pen. He had moved it from Santa Monica down to Venice Beach, and he hand built all those weights and the benches and everything. He welded all that equipment years ago. All that stuff's gone now. They put all automated stuff in. I don't know what they did with all the original equipment he built, but anyway, um, there's a guy called German. He has a YouTube channel. German's a real coconut head. He is from Germany. He goes back and forth a lot, and he has a real big goofy YouTube channel. Um, and he is really like that in real life. Trust me. um, and German does videos about the homeless and with the police taking them away and everything. That Venice Beach is so foul and so nasty that I mean, it's disgusting. It's covered with homeless. They're living in the public bathrooms. So if you go to the beach, you can't even go to the bathroom there. Um, and it was scary back in the day. You really didn't want to be going to the bathroom, especially if you were wearing nice jewelry or something, because somebody was going to be in there to rob you. And they were dirty, nasty places. And you'd see like the setups from somebody shooting heroin and all kinds of stuff in there, man. It was just gross. And but he does vlogs about the homeless and them hauling them away all the time and all this stuff. And let me tell you, the homeless are so bad. The last time I went back home, um, I took my daughter there. It was just a few years back. Um, it was hard to believe them homeless had moved all the way from downtown LA all the way into Marina Del Rey, which is very expensive, more of an elite type of place. Oh my gosh, that was one of the cities I grew up in. They were all the way down in there, and it was disgusting. They used to be on the streets up in downtown LA, sleeping in boxes and stuff on the sidewalks. Then they started living under the expressway, um, ramps, and you drive, and see like, hundreds of people living on both sides underneath an expressway ramp. It was just unreal, and it's dirty, nasty, and trashy, and um, I mean, it's just gross. Venice Beach is a big tourist attraction, but how is it going to be a tourist attraction if you got a billion homeless down there living in tents on the beach and the sidewalks and nasty looking and running up to you asking for money, robbing you, whatever it is, it's foul. And who wants to go? Okay? Who wants to go to Venice Beach when it's trash like that? That was what my daddy was afraid of years ago. When I loved going to Venice Beach and Santa Monica and roller skate and skateboard and bike ride up and through there and hang out down there and play pinball at the hamburger joint and all that crap. And he thought I was just a heathen hanging out down there. But I mean, yeah, there was a few homeless around there, you know. Freaking Hendrix was playing, dude, and he was led on heroin all the time. You just kept walking. If he said hi to you or waved, you waved at him. You just kept walking. California is full of freaks. There are so many weirdos and so many creeps and so many liars and so many thieves. It's big city, man, and you have to know how to be streetwise and street tough. Where I'm at now is half of what California is today. Where I'm at now is just like where I grew up in Southern California. You know, the housing, the way it looks, the streets, the drive, everything. Today, it takes an hour to get from Marina Del Rey to Culver City. When, I was younger, it took 5 to 7 minutes to get from Marina Del Rey to Culver City in the car. Yeah. It was 25 cents to ride the bus. And if you had to buy a bus transfer, it was like an extra 10 cents to buy a bus transfer. Today, to ride the Santa Monica bus lines or something like that, God, it's probably $1. You know, where are you going to get it if you're homeless? There's no place to go if you're homeless. You'll end up in jail. Okay? Do not go to California like it's gold miner era, because it's not. I left when the rent hit $1,000 a month. That was years ago. I had a brand new baby. I was a single parent. I wasn't getting child support. I wasn't getting welfare. No. Yeah. Daycare was $250 a week. Don't think I had parents and relatives that were going to babysit my kid. No. It's a big girl world, okay? Yeah. Now, I did take a chance and I went across the states. I had an offer to go across the states for my Aunt Roseanne. She paid to fly us. She even paid to fly the dumb cat. And it was like, you could, who doesn't want a big, beautiful black Persian cat with yellow eyes, right? Oh, no, you got to bring the cat. She paid $400 to ship that stupid cat. And, uh, it was me and my baby. I shipped everything out for a month through the United States Post Office that I could ship. I paid a private shipper to ship about 10 other items that the post office wouldn't take. And it was like my sewing machine and a very large Marilyn Monroe, very huge, oversized, bigger than my windshield Marilyn Monroe picture, and some other great valuables, and every one of them were destroyed. Out of that, it was all received garbage. Um, and they packed it. They packed to ship it and everything, and it came as garbage. Um, flew out there. I think it was like $400 for us to fly, and it was $400 for the damn cat. We had a layover in Atlanta for about 4.5 hours. My daughter did her first poopies in the toilet. She was 5 months old. I was potty training her. Yep, potty training her, like since birth. I was so proud. And but let me tell you, I was hoping the grass would be green on the other side. I cried to have to go there. It was like Oklahoma, no. What is out there? God, there's no beach. When I got there, I was like, so where's the beach? You know, um, it was really strange. It was very Twilight Zone, like the time I traveled backwards, like before I was born, kind of time. Really strange. Everything was dirt cheap. I mean, a place to live was about 250 a month, and a real nice place to live was about 600 a month for the elite place to live, which I ended up living in before I left. Because I said I will be here, and I will have the best place to live, and I will have my own car, and I will open my hair salon, and then I did all that in very short order, in like a year. Um, uh, Plus, I was going to college, you know, but for architectural at that time and advertising design. But let me tell you, I was very lucky to have that opportunity, although it didn't pan out well, as my aunt was in was very difficult to deal with. She was a drinker and she was very wealthy and very stern, but it was a very good opportunity. Like my baby sister said, you can always come back to California. And that was probably the thing that pushed me off the cliff. It was like, oh, I can't leave California. I can't leave Venice Beach. And, all these jobs and all this stuff. Oh my God, what a change it was. But I wasn't homeless when I went there. You know what I mean? I managed an apartment building. I was learning how to work in the abstracting. And my daycare was paid for at a very nice Christian daycare. I wasn't on welfare. I had food in the house, and it was moving forward. I was very privileged to have that opportunity, but it was horrible. But and it was just a really strange country place. I mean, it was like being around a lot of stupid people to me. California is very fast paced, and you have to be smart real quick. In the South, it's a much slower paced thing, and people are pretty casual. And a hard day at work is like it's better to go fishing to them. They don't care. It's just real different. But um, yeah, so there's some trades. Yes, it was cheaper. It was much easier to raise a child in the South. The grass was greener. They didn't have the gang fights in the schools. And that was my biggest fear of raising a child in California in that day and age. When I grew up in California, that it was so dangerous. I mean, we had dance battles to fight, and now it was chains and guns and knives in schools, in kids' schools. Today, it's guns. I wouldn't let a kid go to public school for my life anywhere in the United States, period. Today. No and no and no. They should get rid of schools and do homeschool only. Forget that. That's a big waste of money. They can take that money and invest it on helping people instead of paying teachers and stuff. It's all done. It's all done. Forget it. Do not send your kids to school. That is a death wish. Public school is a death wish. Don't do it. I begged my baby sister to stop because I was afraid she'd be dead. That's right. I begged her and begged her. I said, you could have retired a long time ago. Quit while you're ahead. It is too dangerous out there. They have shooting after shooting. Quit and get out. And finally she did. My God, what does it take? You have to sacrifice your life? I mean, open your eyes. Look, read the news, man. Jeez. I hate the news. I hate the news channel. I hate newspaper. I don't like to see anything bad. But man, it's all over the place. It's up in your face. It's on YouTube. It's everywhere. Shooting here. 10 kids dead. Famous school teacher that everybody loved dead. The security guard's dead. Cops are dead. No. How do you get away from it? Get away from it. Solve the problem. So, anyway, California is not the place to go homeless. You have no place to go. Welfare apartment starts at $3,000. Do you have $3,000 to get in? No. Are you resident? Have 30, 60, or 90 days? No. You're an immigrant. You said you don't have a social security number. How are you going to fill out anything? I don't know much about all that. I do know there's a ton of people that come from overseas to work in the United States, especially in Florida. Okay, they're not permitting the Mexicans to do it anymore, unless they're a resident or something. There's some new law in Florida. It's in the past year. Florida is not paying their way. They will not. And maybe this guy's included in that. I don't know. But, my next thought is, how is he going to pay taxes on the sales for eBay? That'll be the next thing. You don't want to go to California, my friend. And he's like, I'll take a Greyhound for like, $200. Yeah, and it'll take you, a week or 2 weeks to get to California from Florida? Because you're down in mid-Florida around Tampa area. Really, you're going to do that? Will they let you bring that cat on that bus? I bet not. Guess how much it costs to go to the vet? It cost $200 to go to the vet just to get my cat ready to go on the plane from California to Oklahoma, okay? Because the regulations were I had to buy a pet carrier. That's right. So I bought a pet carrier at the vet office. I had to pay for special medicine because the cat cannot make it on an airplane without being knocked out. And then you pray the cat will wake up when it's over with. My Aunt Roseanne and I had to fight because they wanted to keep my cat in quarantine when we went to get it when I got off the plane. They said the cat would be in quarantine from 30 to 90 days. I said, what? I just got off the plane from California. We can't release it to you. We had to go through hell to get this stupid cat. Okay? Yeah. Way more trouble than it was worth. And like I say, I could have, given the cat away. I could have sold it before I left. I could have done a lot of things. And she was like, oh, no, don't give up the kitty cat. God. $400 for a plane trip, $200 for the vet trip. Please. And to have a pet carrier, for what reason? To never use it again. Yeah, so, I don't know. You can bring a cat on the Greyhound. I don't know if they'll let you even ship that sucker on the Greyhound. And all the hotels I ever stayed in California wouldn't let you bring pets. That's another problem. And a pet really deserves a better life. There's no place for you to stay in California on the beach. Or anywhere else. It's illegal. You'll end up in jail. And you don't need a bunch of trespasses on your record. And maybe they'll ship you back to where you come from when you get in trouble with the law. And you probably don't want to do that either. So, I don't know exactly what this guy's situation is. But you're a fool if you're listening to these boneheads from California going, hey, you come here and make more money. You have to work 2 jobs full time to pay $5,000 a month rent in California. Is that quality of life? Do I look stupid? I'm going to go look in the nearest mirror and see if I'm looking stupid today. My brother was like, well, I have this friend, and I've known him since I was a kid. His name's Buttermilk. He's an old dude, and way older than me. He is living in a storage place. He rented an office, which is like $400 a month, which, that sucker about the size of a bathroom. And he's apparently secretly living in there. Man, the first time they catch you, it's all done. And so, I had an office here and a bunch of storages and was running my business. I was grateful for it because I had electric to run my printer. And they permitted me to run a crock pot or whatever if I wanted to. Or toast some bread. That was nice. And I had running water so I could decorate shoes and wash my hands off and whatever. And it was pretty neat. All I had to have was my gym memberships. I go take a shower. Um, you know, I stay at different places all the time in the car. Um, but no, I didn't live in my office. Um, it was an office. But in California, like my brother's like, you could go stay with him with buttermilk in his office. First of all, you have to be careful when you're growing. Some people take it for granted, and there's a trade there. You know what I mean? And I haven't slept with many people in my life. I'm a very Cinderella type girl. I never sold my stuff either. If I did, I'd sell it for $1,000,000 and they want change back. Cha-ching! Uh, and I'm not into the do it with a friend thing. Not into that at all. You know, AIDS came out years ago. I'm still afraid of that. But, yeah. So, I'm not seeing this as a good idea. He wanted me to research what it would take to have a shipper come take all my stuff from the storages and ship it out there, and he'd put it in storage. Storages out there start $400 a month for a small one. Whoa. So now we're talking about $2,500 a month. Towels I've got in storage, which is not furniture. It's all retail. That sounds like a big no to me. Yeah, I could switch my driver's license back over to California. If I wanted to, I guess. Pick California insurance and registration. Oh my God. If that isn't huge. But, you know, $12,000 to move everything out there. And he's like, and you could drive your car. Well, to go stay in an office with some guy that's way older than me that may want the extra stuff. Oh my God. I don't think so. You have to be careful in the situations you walk into because it's like Murphy's Law. Anything that can happen, well, try to avoid that if you can. Don't be fooled. Everybody in California, when I grew up, they were like, I'm going to be famous in a band. Yeah. I'm going to be a famous actor. My cousin Mike. We went to go see him in his new apartment because he said that he had to have an apartment in Hollywood because he was going to be a famous actor like his dad. So we went out there to go see Mike, see how he was doing, and God opened the door. He has this place in Hollywood. Funky. Hollywood is funky. You think downtown LA is bad? Try Hollywood. It's nothing. Went in there. He had nothing but a beanbag chair in there. I was sitting there smoking a joint. You know, and shirts with no, he had shorts, no shoes, no shirt. And he's like all casual going, yeah, it's like, so you have work? Oh, no, I'm waiting and I'm trying out for parts and stuff. I'm going to be a famous actor. Oh, my God. The people, the dreams. He started on a game show. Then he went to go do a couple parts. And last I heard, my baby sister and her husband rented a porno flick and said, guess who was in the porno flick? Cousin Mike. Wow. I don't do porno flicks, but I'm going to be a famous actor. I'm going to be the star in a rock band like Kiss. Yeah. Sure. You know, I played guitar and I taught guitar. I was pretty good. Do jazz and all that other stuff. But guess what? Did I look like I wanted to be famous and entertainer and I was going to play a guitar in a bar room with smoke and friggin' drunks. No. I actually made more money bartending, singing to the jukebox, and wearing, shorts and heels. And I made bank when I bartended in California. Yeah, I did not foresee myself being a star playing guitar, sitting on a bar stool in a bar full of smoke and drunks. So you can wish for a lot of things. Don't wish too hard for what you might want, because then if you get it, you might never really have wanted it at all. Don't believe everything people say to you. They will lie to you. They will scam you. They will promise you things. The only one to look out is for you. You are number one. I had over $30,000 of a legal settlement money stolen from me from my best friends in Oklahoma when I was young. I trusted them. That's right. Don't put that money in the bank. Your Aunt Roseanne will find out about it. It's a small town. The bank will tell her. Well, I didn't know that it would have been illegal for the bank to be like calling up my aunt, telling them I just deposited a check for $33,000. My friends convinced me to let them cash the check, but they didn't give me the cash. They had it in their account, and they would, take me to the store or whatever to buy what I needed, and I was out looking at houses and stuff. I had a brand new baby, 5 months old. What a cool break. That money come in about 4 months after I moved to Oklahoma. I didn't even have to go to court, fly back home for it or anything. They offered a huge settlement outside of court. My cut was about $33K. I got all of probably $3,000 or $4,000 that money. That's right. 26 years old. And the people stole my money from me. I suppose great friends that were better than family. People will fool you. You know, that guy threatened me when I needed $60 to pay my shop water bill after a year. Threatened me. Threatened to dump my car in Lake Hudson. Michael Brown. Michael and Linda Brown of Salina. I left Oklahoma. I was scared. I was scared they were going to come after me, take my car or something. These people, they stole my money. You know? What was I going to do? And that was my future for my child and I. I didn't get child support. I didn't get welfare. Transition is hard. I was hoping so much that the grass would be greener on the other side. It was, compared to California, to a point. It was a whole entirely different lifestyle, different place altogether. It was country, very little there, very little stores there. This is not a place where you walk to everything across the street, to the store. It wasn't like that back then. Like California. You walked, you took the bus, you rode a bicycle, you skateboarded, you roller skated, borrowed a car, had a car. It's not like that when you move to these rural country places. Now, all these years later, yes, Prior Creek has grown a great deal. I drove by it and missed it. As big a dust bowl it was. Drove by and missed it. One time traveling cross country, dressing entertainers. And I had to turn around and try to drive back like 3 times. And I went, God, I missed it each time. And as it changed so much, you know. But it was different, and I had to make myself accept that because I wanted a better life for my baby than California. I wanted an easier life. I was tired of the bar business, tired of the drunks. I had quit drinking, I quit partying, and had a kid. So it just wasn't for me, you know. I wanted to upgrade my education even more. which I did have 5 college degrees. Yeah. So, but I'm going to tell you, and I would love to live in the Tampa area. I love that area. I like Clearwater. I took my youngest daughter down there a few times. Man, we love it down there. There's so much there in mid Florida, especially in Tampa area. God, there's like it's like California. There's like store after store. If you can't get a job there, that would be frightening. There is so much there that's walk. So my advice to Books and No Home YouTube guy: don't go to California. Do not let people fool you. They're lying to you. There's no way you can make it. You would have to work 2 jobs full time just to make rent, not counting utilities and eat and everything else. You will get arrested. You cannot stay on the street out there. There is no place to stay. They don't have free housing. All this stuff's used up. My baby sister told me there's people that sleep on the sidewalk in front of her house and stuff. How would you like that if you had a house and you had homeless people sleeping on your damn sidewalk, pouring their piss out on your sidewalk and shitting in your grass and stuff? Do you want that? And they're lit on drugs and they're noisy and they're fighting with each other and robbing each other. And do you want that? No. It's not like that here in Florida. Yes, there was a lot of homeless at the pandemic, but a lot of people made an effort and done something. There's people worse off than me. There are people without a car that literally sleep in the damn bushes. There's fire ants in Florida. That's why you don't ever walk on the grass in Florida, because of fire ants. Never walk on grass in Florida. We have snakes. Every once in a while, a gator shows up and walks across the street sometimes in some of these big cities. It's just tropical. That's what it is. This is like where I grew up in California, okay? Like a step back in time. I do like it. It's very hard to rent now. The last house I had was $1,000 a month, and it's very nice with the pool and stuff. And I got that for my daughter. I was so proud to get that place, and we were renting. And the pandemic drove us out. The landlord wanted to sell for 3 times the price, but she didn't even get to sell it for a year later. She lost all that rent. And I paid my rent in advance. In advance. When I first rented it, I turned around 30 days later and paid her 2 more months' rent in advance. I called her. I said, "Can I pay you some more rent?" Because I don't like keeping cash and I hate banks. So I pay my bills. As soon as I have money, I pay my bills. But please do not think about moving to California. You have no friends there. No one you can trust. Period. I lived there for years. The people I thought I could trust were flakes. I had very dear friends of mine that called me 4 weeks before I left California. They said, "Man, we can't even make our electric bill. Can you help?" And I'm like, "Well, yeah, just come by the house." And they never came by my house before. And they came over and I gave them $200. And they're like, "We'll pay you back in a few days." I called them. And the day before I left on the plane, and they're like, "We don't have it." I was a single parent. I was a brand new baby. My baby was 5 months old when I left California. So, it's all about you. You are number one. Don't depend on other people. Don't believe everything people say. You've lost your mind. Do not. Absolutely do not. Do not move to California so you can be homeless there. You're making a very large mistake. No way. And guess what? We're going that Greyhound going cross country from lower Florida to California. It's going to take a week or two, and they're going to leave you in the middle of like Atlanta, in a really bad area, for like 4 hours waiting outside with your luggage in the middle of the night and stuff like that. Don't do it. You'll get robbed, you'll get beat, you'll get shot. Don't do it. You have no money. You can't afford to rent there, you know? And it's not the gold mine era. Like when my grandfather and the boys went cross country from New York to California, walking and hitchhiking to get to California to see if there was a better way during the gold mine era. You know? Oh my God. And then my grandfather and my grandmother who missed the boarding for the Titanic and what was left of the kids traveled cross country begging for pieces of bread from businesses and stuff like that till they got to California. True story. It's not that. It's not that today. If you're going thinking you're going to strike gold, it's not happening because you're not. You're going to put yourself in a worse situation. You're going to end up in jail or get deported. Don't do it. Do what you're doing at this point and go from there. You can do well. You can also relocate to another place in Florida. Hey, there's a place right down the street here. Every other unit, the homeless are living in it. They let them do it. It is illegal and it is not safe. But there's people that do it. You know, uh, you're better off where you're at. You're in a terrific area. There's also ways to work and get cash paid under the table, working at a restaurant, rolling up flatware and stuff. We're going into tourist season. That's big money. If you can get a legit job, go to Walmart. They hire foreign people all day long. You know, and you work 3 months and they ship you back so that you could go renew your visa and then you come back and do it again like all those other people do. I don't know what your legal situation is and all your immigration and all it is, but don't go to California. You are a fool. You would say you're cashing out, making your stuff cheap on your eBay store, and you're going to go to California. You've lost your mind. There's nothing to go there for, unless you want to go to jail. Then I guess you get a roof over your head and what bologna sandwiches or something. I don't know. I've never been to jail in my life, so I couldn't tell you. Don't do it. So this is my message to you. I was hoping you'd jump on my YouTube vlog on the live here. You need to get on the live and start doing some live vlogs with people and let people tip you. Um, uh, you know, but I'm telling you, do not run and jump for California, especially in this day and age. Do not. I left when the rent hit 1,000. I thought that was insane. I went halfway across the states, and a place to live was like $250 a month. And the high dollar, big money stuff was like 400 and 600 a month. Luxurious, which I lived in that and paid for that. Yeah, don't do it. I'm telling you, you cannot afford it. You can't afford gas. You can't afford to buy a car there. You can't afford to register a car there. You can't afford to pay the car insurance there. It's huge. And a pack of cigarettes is like $12 there, and it's illegal to smoke anywhere. And like they were even saying, you can't smoke in your car. Um, you have to be 100 foot from a building to smoke. Uh, I mean, there's no 99-cent meal at Taco Bell. It's not happening. Lunch at a to-go joint is like $25 a person. Uh, my daughter went to the movies while we were out there. My brother paid for it, and he handed her like what $100 bill, a $50 or $100 bill to go to the movies. I'm like, God damn. When I went to the movies, it was 25 cents on Sunday, and you got like the 2-for-1 Sunday matinee thing. You know what I mean? Jesus. So don't do it. Please don't do it. You will destroy your life. Um, just keep doing what you're doing in Tampa now and keep pressing forward. Okay? And you've got to find a way to print your stuff like me. Go get a Jackery at Harbor Freight. They're really cheap now. That's what you need. And you can power up, a printer. You can buy a printer at a secondhand store for $10 to $15. You can buy a printer ink at Walmart for about 20-30 bucks for the on generic printer ink, and your phone to power up your computer to print those labels. Let's see who it is. That's Roxanne. What's going on? Yeah, check out this channel. It's called Books No Home on YouTube, and this guy's great. And I love what he's saying, but now somebody's trying to talk him into going to California, and he's cashing it in right now to leave and take a bus across the states, which is stupid. Uh, his YouTube channels hit like 1K subs in like 30 days. Yeah, 30 days of vlogs. He's hit 1K subs. So he can monetize, if he's got enough watch time, which he probably does, because things going viral. I stumbled across it by accident. It came up in my feed. Guy's great. I love the way he talks. And he tells people you have no excuse being homeless on the street and not trying to make an income. He's getting his stock free, selling books, and he's researching and all that stuff for the pricing and all that. He's using Amazon to research it with, which is strange because Amazon's way more expensive than eBay. But he says, I sell it to you half the price of what Amazon sell to you. And he's making sales, and there's people on his YouTube that are buying from him too. And then somebody just paid for him a hotel for a week for him and his wife and the kitty cat. His car broke, so he has no car. He was renting a car for $60 a day. Well, you can rent a hotel room here for $50 a day because it's still off season. It's getting ready to go up now. It may be up to about 70 or 80 now a day. But yeah, but he's getting ready to make this big jump like he's gonna freaking go to California and become a millionaire and do his eBay there. He's lost his mind. You cannot make it. You have to have huge money to rent there, huge money for utilities, huge money just to eat there. They do not have 99-cent burritos at Taco Bell in California. I'm telling you, it is not like that anymore. God, dog. I remember when we used to save our change and walk across the street to the Burrito King or whatever it was out in Mar Vista, right across the street from the apartment. And if you had, like $2.25, you could get the biggest, meanest red machaca burrito. God, and two people could split it. The sucker was humongous. It's like the size of your shoe, okay? And the last time I went to that place, they wanted $10 for that same burrito. A to-go joint, you know what I mean? With styrofoam and paper wrap food. Please. I really appreciated when they wanted, like, what was it, $8.50 for Coca-Cola for large Coke in San Pedro. And my baby sister and I, we all went to go eat over there, and she's like, so what do you want? I'm like, just whatever. And a big Coke. Because I'm always drinking something. I always have a beverage. I drink all day long. And so, whether it's water or juice or whatever, I always have a drink in my hand. And maybe that's from when I used to drink liquor years ago. I don't know. But they say you're supposed to drink a lot of fluids every day. But I always have a beverage in my hand of some sort all day long. I have to, even at work. If they tell me I can't have a beverage at work, I'm leaving. I will walk out the door. I walk into work with a half gallon of milk. That's what I drink. That's right. It stays right with me. And yes, I drink it right out of the bottle. If my milk and me don't get to go to work, forget it. Party's over. I have to have a beverage at all times. I don't know why. But anyway. Yeah. California is not a good mood for this guy. He's lost his mind. He's believing some crap that somebody's told him. And he's trying to cash his business in right now. And he's just done so well. If you go watch his vlogs, he probably has about 10 vlogs on there. Most of them pretty short. And he's done really, really well. I wish all these homeless people here that are fake and the real ones could see this, the vlogs of his, because he's speaking the truth. All you got to do is try. And yes, there's people worse off than me. They don't have a car. They're sleeping in the damn bushes. You know what I mean? You know? They can't afford to even go to the gym. The gym has actually gone up in price. One of the gyms, there's a Planet Fitness. It used to be 10 a month. Now I think it's 15 a month. You know, but you have the real homeless and the fake homeless here. You have the fake homeless that make $500 a day standing on the street getting money from you tourists that come by, feeling sorry for them. They're fake. You're paying for their dope. You're paying for everything, and you're wasting your time. Don't do it. The real homeless are not out there asking. No, they are not. They will not bother you. They don't have a cardboard sign. They don't stand in the middle of the street. You don't know what it's like. You are like a reject of the world when you become homeless. People don't like you. I made the mistake of telling a few jobs that I was homeless in my car. And that was like the slap in the face later. They put you down. People walk by, they see you open your car up, they see pillows or blankets or whatever, and they tell the people that are with them or their kids, oh, they're camping, you know, or they're a nasty homeless person, and then immediately they associate homeless with drugs, drinking, and rock and roll. I don't drink, I don't do drugs. I quit that years ago when I had my first kid because I realized the party was over and I thought God had blessed me when I was never supposed to have children. Not like I wanted any or needed any, because I had money back then. I could buy kids if I needed kids. I could buy them and adopt them. But it so happened. It was an impossibility. No one could believe it. I was told I absolutely would never have children, so I never worried about it. It wasn't like I was missing it. But it happened, and I had the choice to get an abortion or keep it or sell it. And I made my decision. I thought it was God's will, so it took me out of bathrooms. That's probably why I'm still alive today. Was that first kid? Yeah, that's right. Some things are God's will. It did change my life a lot. Maybe I'd have been dead 2 years later from the party. Who knows? I've never been to jail. I was never an addict. None of that. You know, just lived that fast land in that life in California, hanging out with the high dollar folks and lawyers and big time people and politicians and all that cool stuff, famous people. Big deal. Life is what you make it. But if you hang out with trash, you will become trash. That's why you got to keep going forward. Anyway, go check out this guy, Books with No Home on YouTube. Pretty incredible, pretty strong vlogs. Please tell him don't go to California. He's cashing it in now, thinking he's going to leave from mid-Florida when he's in a great place. That Florida is half the price of California and so much easier financially to deal with than to play the California game. Okay, if I go back home today, it will take me just short of $20K to rent any apartment in mid to Southern California. Okay? Yeah. Get on welfare the day I get in there. It's not happening. Okay? No. A big zero, a big no. Anyway, I hope that this guy keeps doing what he was doing and doesn't make this stupid move. He's doing great what he's doing, and he's making a great point, and a lot of people need to see his vlogs and realize they can pull themselves out of it. Me, I do have eBay. It sells slow. I picked something I know a lot about, but it has a very slow sell-through rate. It's very long tail. Yes, I do make a few sales here and there, but can't really not work without it, okay? Not at this point. It is not going that great. Tons of stuff to still list. Tons of stuff I'd love to buy to list. I can't. I got tons of stuff in storage that needs to be sold, and I got to list every day and keep trying and try to get that gone. So save me in storages, and it will give me a beginning. And then when I get it really built up, then I can hopefully, get a place to live. It may not be here, it may be somewhere else. I haven't decided. We'll get to that when we have cash in hand. Anyway, I hope you guys have a great and blessed day. Do something kind for a stranger. Love everybody. And too much of a good thing is wonderful. I will see you in the next one. Talk to you later. I love you.